Hello. I thought you were going on. Hi, little Shiloh. Hi, Nori. I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in. If you guys could hit the like button, I would appreciate it. That helps more people see the live. Okay, so the Oracle deck is now officially launched. Yes, they're live now. So the way that you get to them is you go to the link in either my bio on TikTok or my bio on Instagram. And there's a little spot that says Oracle deck, and that will lead you right to it. So if you want to go buy one now, you are more than welcome to. Sorry, let me readjust my camera here. Ooh, we got 190 likes already, guys. That's awesome. For the people that are passing through. Sorry, I'm just moving my camera to try and get it in a better spot. You can see my living room. Don't do it, Sage. Okay, perfect. Okay, we have our first order of the night. Thank you guys so much. Let's take a look here. For Sheila. And don't worry, I won't show any of your information. Yes, I see your order. I want to pack them while I'm here on live, but I also want to show them to you guys. So here are the goddesses, and they have gold foil on them. They're beautiful, gold foil front and back. And the box has foil on the front and the back as well. So, I originally created this deck for shadow work because it has a lot of negative thoughts around it, especially in witchcraft, and I've noticed that a lot lately. But I wanted to bring a brighter light to shadow work because it just brings out your inner shadows. That's why it's called shadow work. But it brings out anything that you're hiding or anything that you need to confront. And I don't want that to be negative. I want it to be positive. Because even though, yeah, what happened might have been negative and it might have hurt really bad, but those little mishaps is what makes you who you are. You wouldn't be you without them. So I created this deck around that message to embrace who you are, embrace everything you've gone through, and embrace your traumas and your trials and own it. Be the goddess of your shadows, essentially. And every single one of these wonderful women here in my deck had to go through the same thing. And fun fact, they actually had to go through a traumatic death to become a shadow goddess. And if you were here when I first created them, I shared stories of a few of them, like Raven, and I shared stories of Dove, and I shared stories of the bat and Burmilla, our cat, and I shared stories for the goat and the goat, Billy. So you can definitely see those over on my Etsy page. But they all had to go through something traumatic. Okay, so let's do a shuffle before I start packaging up some orders here. What I like to do before I shuffle is knock on my cards, shuffle up, knock again, and then this just releases any stuck energy, any energy that might not be mine. You can sage them, but I try not to do a whole lot of smoke because I do live in an apartment. But let's go ahead and see, guys, what kind of shadow work or goddesses do you think I would need to get out of here? Or actually, let's ask Spirit for a question for all of us. Let's see what we all need to hear. And I will just shuffle them and let them come out as they see fit. They're a little slippy slidey. And they slide really well. I know sometimes cards will stick. Whoop. Okay, a bunch of them fell out of the bottom. Now, I do include with your order a spreadsheet guide. Looks like this. So you can either pull out 4 cards and place them as so, or you can do 3 cards and look at the past, present, and now. But what I'm going to do here is just a general reading to put one big message all together. So the first one we have is the crow. Detach from negativity, which is what I was talking about a few moments ago about shadow work being negative and that we need to remove ourselves from the negative aspects of life and look for the positive. So I think that was a really good card to pull in. All right, the next one is Giraffe. Look for another perspective. I see a theme. That's exactly what I was just saying on that one too. I made this deck for another perspective of shadow work. Because you can look at your traumas as I went through these terrible times, or you can look at them as trials to build you into the character you are now. The next one is the elk. Appreciate the simple things. This is a really good message for us too, because sometimes we get caught up and go big or go bold, especially with everything on social media is so out there and extravagant that we miss out on the little things. And our next one is the Seahorse. Watch and wait. She has her little globe here. So all of these moons that you see on their cards, these are the full moons. They're backed and supported by a full moon. Every single one of them. And whereas some of them are a little bit smaller, it just depends on how they use that full moon. So she uses hers for watching. Watch and wait. These goddesses use it behind them to amplify their powers or their messages. Nori says that's helpful, so I'm glad to hear. And Shiloh says, thank you for making that. So I'm glad to hear. The spread was actually a suggestion from my boyfriend's mother. She's a shaman, and she said that having one of these is always really, really good. Okay, the owl. Honor your intuition. So that's a really good card too. And sometimes it's hard to separate our intuition from our anxieties. Okay, and then the last one is the flamingo. Embrace the in-between. I love how weirdly wound she is. And when I drew this one, the flamingo's necks actually just look like a bunch of hinges. You see there? Pull it up close for you. Embrace the in-between. There's no black and white in this world, so why are we acting like there is? Okay, so the deck also comes with a book to help you delve into these deeper and have it more signified towards shadow work. There's also questions in here, so things that you can ask yourself and prompts so you can start a journal and start going about your shadow work journey. So let's start with 32, the elk. And they're numbered conveniently, so it's really easy to find them. And their descriptions are quite short. They're only about a page, maybe half a page. So the elk, much like the antlers of this goddess, we need to showcase what we have to offer the world. We all have unique gifts and talents that are just waiting to be released. The elk goddess is asking us to free ourselves from the rut and stand proudly. Oftentimes we get stuck in negative loops. The elk goddess is warning us of these loops and asks us to take time to appreciate the wonderful things that life has to offer. So remember, she's saying appreciate the little things. When this card appears, she is asking us to speak loudly, be heard, but remember, only make tracks where it is needed. We do not always need to scream loudly, but make an impact by your everyday choices. She's telling you it's time to be you and be magnificent. Ask yourself, what goals have I already reached today? Even if it's as simple as making your bed or getting up, brushing your teeth, because some days simple tasks can be difficult, but it's all about how you tackle the day and where you leave your tracks. So the very important message with the elk, since elk animals are so big, they're always leaving tracks in the mud. And it's the same thing with us on our everyday today lives. We make really big impacts on other people and ourselves without even realizing it. And that's where she's asking us to appreciate the little things. So yeah, you may be feeling depressed and anxious and down today, but what good things have you done? You got out of bed, right? That's a really good track. That's a really good start to your day. So that is the elk goddess. And let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. I just wanted to show these off and give a good example of what it is that the Oracle deck has to offer. So, I will read one more, the description, and then I'll start packing up a couple orders here. Is there another one in particular that you want to look at closely? Let me know in the comments. Should I just pick one? Okay, so I haven't shown the flamingo yet, so I'll go ahead and do that. Denise, I just saw, looks like you placed an order too. Is that right? Yeah, I like that she's dancing and kind of weird. I think it's perfect. Okay, perfect. Awesome, Denise. So I will show 38, and then I'm actually going to package up a couple orders here. So we'll go back and forth. But 38, the flamingo, honestly, she's my favorite, but sometimes the position can kind of freak people out a little bit. But I think that's where it matches up with the slogan so well, is because she's asking you to embrace the weird. And it's okay to be uncomfortable. Okay, so 38, the flamingo. Embrace the in-between. This goddess dances, letting her body flow freely, advising us to do the same. She tells us it's time to flow and find balance in our lives. Some things in life are unexplainable and oftentimes weird. The flamingo goddess urges us to accept life as it comes and embrace it. When this card appears, she warns us of a life of solitude, as flamingos are social animals. She's cautioning us that our life has come off balance and alone time is nice, but social interactions are needed as well. After all, humans are social animals just like flamingos. She's asking us to experience the world and flow freely, of course safely, in life. Oh, Denise, what stickers did you want? I actually really need to get rid of them, and I think I can just add them to your order. There's no shipping charge, so if you want to place another order for stickers, I'll put them all together in one package for you. And thank you guys so much for being here tonight. This means a lot to me. I was actually super nervous about the release. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and package an order here. And then we will go back to the rest of these lovely goddesses. And so if you guys have any questions or if there's one that you want me to do next, let me know. And I will just place those up here. I've had the cards sitting underneath this giant block of selenite to make sure that you guys get energy-free cards. I don't want any of my residents or anything from the manufacturer to get to you guys, especially if it is negative energy. It shouldn't be, but just in case. So you guys know that you will be getting energy clean cards. Yeah. And honestly, this is my first really big project. Usually I can make things on demand, like as orders came in. This was my first time ordering inventory, and it actually, so I was a little bit nervous about that aspect, and it took me a year to make this deck, like start to finish, drawing all the goddesses. Most of it is on TikTok from like beginning to end if you guys want to see the creation of them and the sketches of some of them. I don't have all of them because I wanted it to be kind of a surprise. When you get the deck, there will be goddesses that you haven't seen yet. But yeah, from the very first picture of Dove, which is who this girl is, she's just drawn in a different position than on her card. But Dove is their leader. And from the very first time I drew her was August of 2019. And then I didn't touch it for a really long time. And then I started again August 2020. And so that's how long I've been working on these cards. So it made me really, really nervous about it because it's been a long time coming. I've been wanting to do it for a really long time. Okay, perfect. So let's get these stacked up. Okay, I have some lovely gold foil paper. Pardon my packaging. I'm a little shaky. I get really shaky when I do readings. Vague Weirdo and Panda over here can testify for that because I know them in person and I've done some readings for them. And just the energy from readings is so powerful that I get really shaky and like my voice will get shaky and stuff. So I will package these up as nicely as I can while I'm shaking. And let me know if you guys have any questions about the goddesses' stories. They did have to pass away to get into the shadow realm. So they live in what I call the shadow realm. And it's a realm between the dead and the living. Kind of like an in-between spot. And they're there to keep the peace. A dove especially. That's why she symbolizes peace, and her card is finding peace within yourself. And actually, Dove was pointed out to me. It looks a lot like Hel, the goddess of the underworld. And it's really funny because Ananka, the dragon goddess, looks a lot like Hel's brother. And there was this one time I had an order for Ananka, one of my gold foil prints, and I decided to send Dove in just for free, just out of a whim. I was like, hey, let's throw Dove in here. And when she got it, she told me that those are actually the deities that her and her partner work with. So she ordered Ananka for her partner, who works with the deity for the dragon god. And then she works with Hel, which looks a lot like Dove. So I thought that was an interesting coincidence. Oh, I forgot to put these in here. Yeah, so selenite is a really good base crystal. It is a good protection as well. It's kind of like clear quartz, as in you can use it for almost everything. I have a lot of it around my house because if you actually put selenite by all your windows, it protects your home from curses and hexes and ill doing that may come your way. You don't need such a large piece. Like I have some really tiny pieces that are only like this big. I just had that big one to put over the entire box to make it easier. All right, there is your order, Sheila. Okay, let me look at something really quick here. Okay, so I'm going to package this next one. And then is there another, what's the next card you want to go over? We have the crow, seahorse, the owl, and the giraffe. Thank you guys. You're so awesome. I really appreciate it. Giraffe? Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, giraffe and seahorse. Let's go over those, and then I'll package Denise's order. So the giraffe, look for another perspective. I feel like that is a very powerful one for life because honestly, everyone's life looks completely different to them than it does to you, and your life looks differently to you than it does to every single person that you meet. Not one person has the same version of your life as you do. They all have different stories. Okay, cool. So the giraffe. This goddess with her great height views life with a different perspective. Not only does she see the world from a different view, she also gives the world another view to appreciate. Giraffes are known for their long bodies and odd patterns, but that's what makes this goddess truly special. She is encouraging us to love ourselves as she loves her own funky patterns. It's important to accept who we are and how we look. When this card appears, She gives us an unrestricted view of the world around us while maintaining a powerful connection with our grounded selves. She is asking us to accept and love ourselves without developing an ego. She wants us to be able to accept our own point of view of the world because, as she shows, it looks different to everyone. The Giraffe Goddess is asking us to not waste any more time wishing we were another way or wishing we looked like someone else, because the best person we can be is ourselves. I really love that one. Okay. Sorry, I just had to stop and think about that one. I feel like I compare myself to other people a lot. I think it's something a lot of females actually do quite frequently. So that's definitely a really good one to remember. Because whether it's almost like you're down on yourselves, but the thing is someone else is probably looking at you, admiring you for who you are and what they see. And we're just nitpicking ourselves, you know? And it almost seems unfair. So I think it's time to look at life with a different perspective, maybe be a little more grounded and fair with ourselves. Okay. So the Seahorse is watch and wait. Okay, the Seahorse, a small but powerful creature. This goddess advises patience. She is watching and waiting. She also gives aid to us with strength and power, as she knows what is ahead and knows what we will make it. The Seahorse is a symbol of spiritual growth. When this card appears, she is warning us of hard times ahead. She will be near as we learn and grow in our spiritual minds. As the growth enters our life, it often comes at a time where it is needed the most. It is important to watch how we react to the new growth. Our reactions show our true selves. She warns of hard times ahead. I feel like that one is really powerful because your reaction to your trials is definitely a test of your true character. And sometimes it's better to just wait and stay grounded so that we can see what comes out of it. Because just because we're going through a hard time doesn't mean it's going to end in a hard time. So that's a really good message too. Okay. Mm-hmm. I feel like the Seahorse is my present time. Work's been rough and I've been struggling personally. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Work's been really hard on my side as well. And when work is hard, you kind of struggle anyways because it is most of your life. A lot of us do have to work quite often. And yeah. That's awesome. See? That's awesome that you got a promotion. I'm glad to hear that. And that's sometimes all it is. You wait. And I know that waiting can be really hard, but it will be given to us at the moment that we are ready to receive it. So that's a really good one. I like it. Sorry, I always have to stop and think about them. Okay, Denise, let us package us your order. And I'm glad that you were able to get out of a toxic workplace environment. It can be really hard when work is toxic. Okay, so let's get another book here. Oop. I love these little thank you stickers. 4 years of hard work. That was definitely much deserved. I've honestly never been at a job that long, so you definitely deserved that promotion. Okay, sorry, I decided to package these a different way because that last one was wrapped really weirdly. So I will rewrap yours, Sheila. Okay, and all your orders come with a Kundalini snake. So if you haven't heard what that is yet, so this snake right here is what stands, this is life right here. This is the life that you actually leave, or not leave, but live. And the Kundalini is the chakras. Some people call them, other people it's just energy. This is your fate and like your destiny. And so I love the Kundalini snake because I have deja vu a lot, like so much that by the time I was 6, I was very familiar with the phrase deja vu. And a lot of other 6-year-olds don't normally know what that is, right? So the theory or their belief is that every time the snake passes through the energy, you're on the right track. And that's when you've met your fate and you've done what you're supposed to do or what you were meant to do. And that's why you're having deja vu, because you've seen it before and it's what you were supposed to do or what you were intended to do. And so I love the Kundalini snake because of that powerful message and because I resonate with it a lot. I've experienced a lot of deja vu. And to me, that just helped put reason to my otherwise chaotic life, right? And so that was just really comforting. So I wanted to include that in all the orders for you guys too. All right, and of course, your suggestions. Okay, perfect. And then Denise, this one will be yours. I will put your stickers in it after the live because those are in my office and they're not right here next to me. But thank you so much for purchasing some of those because I really need to sell them. I've had the stickers for a really long time. Okay, perfect. So our last two is going to be the crow and the owl. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. So the crow is 31. They're all really high numbers, I've noticed. Okay. Do you see it? No doubt this goddess has incredible beauty, and she is here to show us how to achieve it. The crow goddess is asking us to create beauty from within. We are ready to begin the removal of negativity, put ourselves by others and by us. This is no easy task as most of our world is run by negativity, and naturally our brains are attracted to it. When this card appears, she is letting you know it is time and it is possible. As we have heard many times before, the best makeup is the smile on your face. The crow goddess is asking us to wear that smile and remember there is always a golden moon shining in the dark. Ask yourself, why am I being negative? What is causing these thoughts? Are they really mine or are they thoughts that someone else has put on me? We need to be really careful with our views because they can be like mirrors. Just reflecting back what the world has given us, we need to detach and lead by example. So I really love this card because there's just so much going on, especially with social media and the news, and it's all negative. We get thrown negative things in our face constantly all the time, and it can really not only degrade on our spirit, but it shows on our physical bodies when our spirit starts draining. And so she reminds us that it's important to detach from the negativity, to create the positive life that you want, the positive life that you really want to see. So, and I love that she gives a reminder of the golden moon shining behind them because every single one of these goddesses has a full moon to back them up. And just as us being witches and our oracle readings and our spells and just even living day to day, not even being a witch, but just being on the earth, we have the moon to back us up. The moon's energy is there and we can use it. And it can help detach us from negative energy as well. So that's a really good, powerful message too. I especially like the questions here. What is causing these thoughts? Are they really ours or are they thoughts that someone else put on us? And sometimes that's very important to look at because our opinions can come from opinions that have been forced on us while we were raised, and we don't even realize that maybe we think a different way. So that one's definitely a really good card. And if you really like the Crow Goddess, she is available on my Etsy shop as a gold print. So you can get the bigger version of just the inside. It won't have the letters or anything like that. But she's another one of my favorites. And I love that the moon shines through here on her stomach and in her eyes, showing that the power of the moon is not only behind us and backing it up, but it's within us. It's within all of us. Okay, let's look at the owl. that's number 24. Okay. The owl goddess is reminding us to allow intuition to guide us. You can see she is holding her hands by her head as if she is receiving messages. She is the giver of wisdom and sees clearly what is in our way. She also reminds us that oftentimes it is us who are in our own way. When this card appears, the owl goddess is asking us to pay attention, to get the messages we are being given. She wants us to see from all directions. With these messages, we are entering a state of transformation and new understanding to evolve our perspective, which there was another one that mentioned perspective. Hint, hint. What is blocking you from receiving these messages? She is advising that we look for messages and signs of all of what is to come next, even small signs. We must trust ourselves to receive these messages like the owl, or the wisdom will pass by us. Quiet yourself and listen to the universe. And I think this one is especially important with shadow work, because a lot of the times we get so caught up in anxious mindsets. You know, sometimes you feel like your mind is running a million times a second. Like, it doesn't stop. It just goes and goes and goes, and it runs, and it's one thought after another, and it just bleeds into the next one. And you have this constant stream of thoughts that may not make a whole lot of sense, right? And so the owl, when she says, quiet yourself and listen to the universe, she's saying it is time for us to receive messages. It is time for us to turn off the thoughts, which I know it's a lot easier to say than it is to do. It definitely takes some practice, but she's a really good card, because the best way to receive intuition, to understand transformation, is to listen to the universe, listen to ourselves. And with shadow work, a lot of it is really simple. We just have to listen to ourselves. So Denise says, yes, I haven't been able to understand messages. I need help. Oh, what kind of messages are you trying to understand? Like, what is it that you feel like you're not understanding? If I understand you correctly. Okay. Give me 1 second here while Denise is giving some more information, because I'd be more than happy to help you out as much as I can. Okay. I just haven't been able to make sense of what I'm feeling. Hard to explain. Figure out how to silence all the commotion in my head and just listen. Yeah, that's always the trick, and I definitely understand, because my mind gets like that sometimes too. And meditation helps a lot. What you can do is, if you have like headphones where you can listen to meditation music. Just turn it up a little bit louder than what you normally would, as if you're going to drown out your own thoughts. So you get used to listening to the music, and then you kind of get sucked into the music. And that's a really good way to turn off your thoughts. And then the more that you do that, you'll get used to turning off your thoughts by yourself after a while. So, and another way to think about it is you can think about your body and your thoughts being two separate beings. So that being like your body is a vessel, but your mind is your soul. And sometimes your soul can become disconnected with your body. And so another thing that you can do is you can tell your mind no. You can tell your mind to be quiet. Some people will name their thoughts. I worry about that because of like split personalities and stuff. But so like if you were going to name your thoughts and you start getting really anxious and say like you're just thinking about one thing after the next, you can be like, no, George, be quiet. This is quiet time right now. So I think those are ways that I used when I was first learning how to meditate and learn to be okay with quiet. So listen to loudish meditation music to drown out your thoughts. Tell your thoughts no. It does work. I know it sounds silly and it sounds too easy, but it does work. And so anytime your thoughts start taking control, you can take control back by saying, no, it's quiet time. We're not doing that right now. So hopefully that helps. The more that you practice card reading and meditation, the easier that it gets. Okay. Yeah, and then saying it to yourself too works as well. I would try the music for sure. That's my favorite way because my mind likes to be busy. And so the music keeps it busy without overstimulating myself or drowning out into like a bunch of anxious thoughts. It becomes like a calming busy. And then if you listen to it after a while, you'll kind of get sucked into it. I don't know if you guys seen the movie Soul, but they talk about like the space between the spiritual realm and the earth realm, where like all artists and creative people go when they get sucked into something. So I felt like that was a really good representation of what it feels like to meditate with music. Is you just listen to it and then you'll get sucked into it. So hopefully that helps out. Okay. And for those of you who just hopped on, I think we saw a few people come and go. This is my Oracle deck that is listed on the link in my bio. It is now up on its own website. I didn't put it on my Etsy page because Etsy's been charging me a lot for fees lately. So I wanted to try another way. Okay, perfect. Should we draw some more cards? You're welcome, Denise. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Yeah? Okay, cool. Let's draw some more cards. I'm going to leave these ones out because they may fall back out. especially if you do multiple readings and it's a message you really need to get. So I used a website called Big Cartel. They have a free option and then they have a paid option. I did the paid option because I need to keep track of my inventory. And then that doesn't come on their free option, but it's pretty easy to set up. And then you can just go on there and create an account like you would on Etsy. They don't charge you for listings, and then they don't take commission. And then I handle shipping all by myself. I feel like Etsy's shipping has really been messing up because they charge me a lot of after shipment fees. So even after I ship a product, if I didn't pay enough postage, USPS will notify Etsy, and then Etsy charges me for the extra. And I feel like that's where a lot of my fees are coming from. So I thought it'd be easier to use a different website that, one, didn't charge me for listing fees, and two, I could handle shipping by myself, so that I can make sure that it gets shipped out correctly. So it's called Big Cartel. I'm just going to go ahead and knock them again. Let them know it is time. I actually heard about Big Cartel from a few other artists that left Etsy. And now they require tracking on all orders, even small ones. So if I wouldn't be able to do like free shipping on stickers and stuff. I would have to pay for tracking shipping, which is more expensive. So if someone orders like only 2 stickers, I can't postage note that and send it via just stamps. I would have to actually pay like $4 for shipping that comes with tracking. And sometimes when people order the stickers, they don't really care about tracking. They just wait for it to come. That one was like, I want to come out, but not really. Yeah, and it's really hard to get noticed on Etsy too, because they do so much to your account. Like if you aren't offering free shipping, then it hurts your search results. And if your prices are higher than the next person who's selling the exact same thing, that hurts your search results. So it's just kind of a mess. This other website, the only downside is they don't bring you customers like how Etsy can advertise your shop and then it brings in customers. You have to do all the bringing in yourself, otherwise people won't see it. But as long as you're posting on social media, it's not that big of a downside. They'll see it either way. Okay, the chameleon I've seen pop up a few times. We'll go ahead and pull her out. Oh, there we go. It was just waiting for me to get done talking. Yeah, love stickers, and since they update, I'm not getting out orders. Yeah, it's not really working for me anymore. It's been hard on a lot of artists, though. I've heard, especially on the TikTok community, they were talking about how difficult it has been for artists to sell on Etsy these days. And I have t-shirts and stuff on my shop, but they don't sell really well for some reason. I'm not sure how to get t-shirts to start selling. I do better with my prints and stickers and stuff, so yeah. It'll be easier just to start the other. I started this new one for my Oracle deck just to see how the website does, and then I can do a really big comparison on it, so yeah. And then the paid version is only like $10. And then I found out on Etsy I'm paying them at a minimum $10 a month for fees. Even on months where I don't sell anything, somehow they still manage to charge me like $10 at least in fees. So paying for my own website won't be that bad. I've tried Redbubble. You don't get a whole lot of profit out of them, so they're not my favorite. And their website is really, really hard to use. I go through a company called Printful, and I can hook that up to my Etsy so it automatically posts things. But when I advertise my shirts, they just don't do as well as when I advertise art prints and stuff. Okay, perfect. So we have the chameleon, act as if. The bee, I really love the design on this one. Accomplish the impossible. The hummingbird, stand strong, move swiftly. She's really pretty too. She was actually a painting that I did of a hummingbird, and then I just took the same painting and I made her into a shadow goddess. So you can find that painting on my TikTok if you want to see the before on that one. Then we have the dragonfly, break through and confront denials. Ooh, that one's a scary one. It's hard to confront things. Okay, and 25, the dog, be loyal, be love. Okay, so let's look at 11, the chameleon. A goddess of blending in, she asks us to act as if. She encourages us to live the life we want, but within reason. She lets us know the world only sees the colors we put out there. So if we are aiming for brighter changes, we need to live as if those changes have already happened. She also reminds us that changes take time and we sometimes need to learn to adapt. If you feel like you're not blending in quite right, she's telling us the old tensions and frustrations can be lifted and it's time for healing. The chameleon encourages us to trust our abilities to be resourceful to what the universe is providing. We are all sensitive to the energies around us, and it's time to raise those vibrations and gain insight. Trust those abilities and show the world your new color. Ask yourself, what do you want others to perceive? And we hear this one a lot. At least I did growing up. Everyone told me to act as if I already had what I was seeking in life, whether that was like a position or a goal, or to dress as if, right? We hear that a lot. And so I feel like the chameleon is a really good representation of that, because we don't necessarily want to blend in where we can't be seen at all, but we want to be brighter as we're blending in. You know, chameleons, they can either disappear, but yet they still have that vibrant green color to them. And so for us to find our place in life, I think that's a really good message from her. And that she's telling us that it's time to adapt and to heal. And it's hard to heal if we can't adapt to our changes around us. So we don't want to stick out like a sore thumb if we're sitting on a tree branch, right? We want to blend into that tree branch. So I think that's a really good message. And sometimes our traumas show brightly than our personalities, and we want to make sure that they're not taking over and that it's our personalities that are shining through. Okay, thank you so much, Shiloh, for showing up. I will get your orders shipped out tomorrow, and you'll receive an email with the tracking. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Okay, and then number 12 is the bee. As a queen, the bee goddess reminds us to take time for ourselves, as only we decide what is essential for our lives and our hives. The bee is a symbol that asks us to examine our productivity, perhaps disorganization, and our life is chasing us to miss opportunities that were placed before us. Why are we so afraid to have our lives on track? Is it because society teaches us it's the way of life? In this world, we focus too much on the trials and triviality of life. But it's time to reclaim your self-identity. Sorry. It is important now more than ever to be an individual. Once we make more time for what we really want and not what is being filtered to us, our lives will become more abundant. The bee reminds us to savor the fruits of our labors, and she asks us to truly put in the work needed to reach our goals, not just on the outside, but the work within ourselves. It's time to go coexist with the chaos of our lives and find the diligence to move forward. Not leave our past behind us, but live with it, because even shadows make the world come alive. She encourages us to accomplish the impossible. And I absolutely love the message behind this one, especially here, because even shadows make the world come alive. And that is exactly the message I want people to get out of my deck. Because life is chaotic, life is messy. We go through things, there's traumas, we have rough childhoods, we have rough friendships, we go through toxic workplace environments, etc. But she's showing us to accomplish the impossible, to bring beauty to the chaos of our lives, to move forward. And not only, she's not asking us to put our past behind us. I find that a really hard phrase for people to resonate with us, because it's hard to just put something behind you and leave it there. It's always going to be a part of you. So the bee isn't telling us to put it behind us. She's telling us to coexist. It is part of us, and we need them to be us. We need it for character building. And especially here, even shadows make the world come alive. I could read that sentence over and over and over again. I absolutely love it. And it's a really great message, because our traumas make us come alive. They build character. They make us who we are. And they show us that, life is different for everyone. So I think she's a really good one. And I also really love her design too. Okay, so we'll do 14, the Hummingbird, which is right here. Stand strong and move swiftly. So the Hummingbird. Life has its turns, its ups and downs, and all kinds of loops, but the Hummingbird Goddess asks you to stand strong. We are all sensitive to the energies around us and find us responding quickly with our emotions. She challenges us to find a way to respond to these ups and downs rather than reacting to them. When pulled, this goddess is asking you to lift up and take of the flower of life's nectar to bring more joy to the roller coaster. She reminds us to have a positive outlook on our situations, to help us respond without being weighed down by emotions. She is not showing us that emotions are bad, just that they can both weigh us down and also lift us up. When we have this weight lifted off of us, we are able to travel greater distances, and our energies are used to visit more than one flower. Are the emotions you are feeling really you, or a projection of how people around you act? How do you feel about what is happening, what has happened? How will letting go lighten the burden you are feeling? How can we use our emotions to fly rather than letting them control us? Once we really understand our emotions, we're able to respond quickly to situations and stay strong. Oftentimes, we are the obstacles in our own way. So I think that is also a really good message, especially with her stand strong and move swiftly. So no matter what life throws at us, it's important to be the rock in the river, right? We don't want to be swept away by the emotions and the chaos. We want to protect ourselves and to protect our own emotions and make sure that the way that we feel and the way that we're acting isn't just projections of people around us. So sometimes we can react poorly to a situation and realize that the only reason that we acted that way is because that's how our parents would have responded, or that's how our lifelong friends would respond to it, right? And so her message was really good. She's asking you to preserve your energy, to protect yourself, and that way you can visit more than one flower. Hummingbirds zip around really quickly and they go to a bunch of different flowers. And so it's important to spread your grace around. Spread your emotions around, but in a positive way, not to let them sweep you away in chaos. So I think that's a really good one too. Oh, I also want to show you that on the back of the book has a little handwritten message here. I did write that, so that is my handwriting. So I think that's one. Okay, and then the next one is 28, the dragonfly. Break through and confront denials. Confrontation is definitely really hard for myself. Okay, perfect. So this goddess watched herself as she became part of the shadows. She is a symbol of transformation. However, not to be confused with the snake, she is not asking you to shed your past to transform. She is asking you to move through the illusions and into the trail of transformation to become your true self. When this card appears, she is telling you it is time to let your colors shine. She is expressing that it's time to confront our denials and rejoice in how far we have come. It is important not to judge our past selves on knowledge our current selves have. She is advising us to pay close attention to our deepest desires as they influence our actions those around us see. We need to remember that we know now what we didn't know then, and that is okay. It is okay to let go of those mistakes and rejoice in who you are today. So she's definitely a huge breakthrough card because I feel like once you understand this message, that you will break through a lot of situations that you're facing. Especially her message with judging yourself based on today's knowledge that you didn't have yesterday. So say, for example, you got into a spat with a friend and you found some new information today. And so you're kicking yourself for how you reacted to it yesterday. But that's not really fair, is it? Because yesterday we didn't have that knowledge. We didn't know more about the situation. We reacted with it with everything that we have at that moment, at that point. And so she's asking us to break through the illusion that we're supposed to know everything, break through the illusion that we're supposed to be perfect and always act gracefully and always have these wonderfully put together lives. And she's definitely a really good breakthrough card because once you get that and you confront those denials, I feel like a lot of people are in denial about how much they yearn for perfection, even though you can't actually ever achieve perfection. And once you break through that and confront that denial or confront that your life is already perfect the way that it is, that's a big breakthrough. You'll be unstoppable. You can achieve the impossible. At least that's what I believe. Okay. So 25, the dog. Let me know if you guys have any questions or if I say something that seems confusing. All right. The dog goddess is offering her heart to you. So you can see she has her heart out towards you, asking us to accept the love that is being given to us and to show love to those around us. She is warning us that change is a part of life and to accept where life guides us. She is asking us to be loyal to both ourselves and to those around us. When this card appears, this goddess represents good fortune, change of pace, and love. It is important to love ourselves before we can love others. We subconsciously talk to other people the way that we would talk to ourselves. She is reminding us that we are all human and we should love each other unconditionally as our dogs love us. It is time to open our hearts and follow our heart's guidance. However, Proceed with self-protection. We must have compassion and empathy, but remain loyal to yourself above all. So I think that is a really important message, because we become very judgmental of each other, right? And she shows the message to love unconditionally, to understand that we are human and we make mistakes, but that's not just with everyone else around us, but that's with us too. We need to love ourselves and understand that we make mistakes. And so I think those are good side-by-side cards, because the dragonfly is saying to break through that, and the dog is saying it's okay to love yourself. Even if you may not have loved all the decisions that you've made in your life, it's okay to love who you are. It's okay to love the path that you came down, because as I will say again and again, without your traumas, without your mistakes, without your life choices that you chose to get to today, you wouldn't be who you are today. And I guarantee you, there's at least 1,000 people out there in this world that love you for you. They love who you are today and all of its glory, all of its imperfections. And that is the message that I really want my deck to get out to every single person that uses it or learns from it, right? That it's okay to be imperfect. And a saying that I've always loved is that we aren't perfect, but we are perfectly imperfect. And that's all that matters. That we are wonderful the way that we are. So I think that was some really good cards. Let me know if you guys have any questions, or if there's one in particular you want to go back to. And thank you everyone who have already purchased the deck. I really appreciate it. It definitely helps out a lot, and it helps me feel a little bit better about it too. I'm really excited for you to receive these too, Dennis. Actually, I'm really happy that Denise. I'm really happy that you ordered a couple stickers too. You're going to love those witch ones. They're actually double-sided. Let me go grab one and then I can show it to you here. I think there's some videos of it too. So it has the backing paper and then the sticker. So this is the witch when she's old, which was actually a challenge to draw yourself when you're old. This is what I feel like I'll look like when I'm 90. And then this is after she passes away. Mushrooms in her eyeballs and a skeleton. But thanks. Her hair is really cool. I like it too. When I have gray hair, I'm going to put so many fun colors in there. So thank you so much, Nori. I appreciate all of your guys' support. Every single one of you have been with me since the beginning, and I love you all for it. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. But I think I'm going to go ahead and end the live release here. This is going to stay on the website. I'm not going to take it down or anything. So if you know of anyone that you think would love the deck as well, or you want to share it, you can just send them the link, and that would be much appreciated. Or if you guys have any other questions, you can hit me up on TikTok or Instagram. But thank you guys again. Have a good night.